It's easy to install. You can get the value immediately.
Co-founder of a Bluedot.
We made this first mistake of trusting people saying how cool is the product.
We're in Google Chrome right now.
They didn't want to pay.
From the enterprise to B2C.
It felt amazing after a year of having nothing.
Tell us more.
I'm not trying to sell, I'm trying to consult, I'm trying to help.
Hi all. Today we have another episode of Seeds of Bravery podcast where I will talk to Ruslan Halilov, who is a co-founder of a Bluedot AI-powered Chrome extension that automates meetings. So Ruslan, welcome to our podcast today.
Thank you. Thank you so much for inviting. I really appreciate it.
And we're in Google Chrome right now, actually, so we can make the AI note taking today. But okay, I'm joking. We would love people to listen to us and to hear more from us. So today I've prepared several questions to you to understand better what you're doing, who are the founders, what you expect on this market, etc. So let me jump into the questions and to uncover the potential of the startup and product. So who are the founders of the startup? Who stands behind your team?
Yeah, so great question. We have three co-founders, and one of the co-founders is Dima. We studied together in the same university in Dnipro in Ukraine, and basically he has a background in product and design. He worked in companies like Jubal and Ask.fm as a product manager, scaled recommendation systems used by over 10 million people, so has lots of experience in product. And then he studied design in London, and this is where he lives right now. Then our CTO, Alex, he has experience. Basically, he worked for over 6 years at Wix.com. When they opened their office in Kiev, he was one of the first employees, then scaled it, and then he joined us, basically as a co-founder, as technical co-founder. And when it comes to me, most of my background is in sales and recruitment. So I worked at companies, first in Warsaw in Poland. I studied there at the company called Cadility. There I work across sales and recruitment. And then I joined N26, which is a mobile bank in Berlin. It's like a monobank in Ukraine, but mostly for German and European market. So there I was leading technical hiring, and basically, that's our experience. And then after working in recruitment, and when Dima worked as a product manager, we kind of both quit our jobs and started our first business, which was a recruitment staffing agency. We're hiring engineers across companies in Europe. So it was like around 5 years ago when we started the first business, and that kind of experience led us to create Bluedot.
Sounds really amazing, as you have a very diverse team and you've made the business together. So from what I hear from our founders and co-founders, they already work with these people. They already did a lot of projects together. So it makes the product successful and the startup successful as well, because you already know the working patterns and a lot of this stuff. However, there are different cases. So it's your case. And how did the idea of this project originate and how it evolved? Because obviously, right now we have a lot of different trends on the market to make this AI note taking in different ways. Different huge players such as Apple, such as WhatsApp and other products, they are using this. So tell us more about this idea and how it evolved.
So basically, as I said, we had this agency with Dima that was our first business, and we scaled it at a certain point to 15 consultants. We had people mostly in Ukraine, a few in Europe, and in South America, and we always kind of had challenge with documenting information during the client calls or the hiring recruitment calls. And people never kind of had time. I know they were either lazy. I'm lazy as well, taking notes all the time, and lots of people lazy as well in terms of that, updating CRM. And we tried different tools on the market. We saw that none of them kind of really served the needs. And it was it was 3 years ago when we first kind of had the idea. There was no open AI and ChatGPT to really automate notes well. So we tried different models. We were playing around with the idea, and then around, I would say, 2.5 years ago is when first of all our agency started going down, and we thought, okay, we really want to build a product. We want to scale something, because agency didn't really. It's hard to scale agency business. overall, but the recruitment agency in particular. And that's when we started like working on Bluedot, like first iterations. We had MVP. We mostly invested our own money. Then we like launched kind of first MVP, raised a little bit from angels, and initially our idea was different. So initially we wanted to target like enterprises, and we wanted to build like a one unified place for all of your company-wide meetings. So you get the transcription. Summaries were not even like a big part of it. Initially, it was like about, hey, let's collect all the recordings that you have because of the COVID. Everyone started like doing meetings online, so companies are recording. So let's make this whole experience of like recording, finding information, transcribing faster, and that's how we started. But then, not, I wouldn't say quickly, because it took us time to build the first like prototype, first version. But it took us around, I would say, like a year to realize that the first hypothesis wasn't right, because we couldn't really sell it to enterprises. And that's when we started like building, let's say, second version, what you see right now, which is different. And I can elaborate on that more, unless you have more questions, so I can
Yeah, please
continue.
do. So we
Yeah,
would love to understand the
yeah.
milestones, how you developed. So you had an initial version, then you understand that this is not sellable to corporations, and then you started thinking of the other version.
Yeah, so basically, initially we were trying to, yeah, sell to corporations, and we realized it's hard, and we tried to sell it to not only corporations but to any. So our idea was that we would sell it to like remote engineering teams first. So we were like trying to find engineering managers or like engineering leaders in remote companies. They kind of liked the idea initially, and they were saying like, yeah, yeah, when it's like live, send it us to link. So we were like, we made this first mistake of trusting people saying how cool is the product. But like when we already had the first prototype, that, well, it's not prototype, it was like a working version that was solving the problem that we initially discussed. All these people that we had on our like waiting list and our Slack channel, all of that turned out to be not real, because they didn't want to pay, and they were like coming up with reasons why not to continue. Like, oh, if you would add this would be cool. And like it was so frustrating. It's like one of the yeah, one of the, let's say, mistakes I think lots of founders do, not only us, and something I would recommend anyone, is like try to validate the idea with the first payment as fast as possible. Like, don't really trust all this, hey, this is cool product. Like, of course, I would try it. We would trial it. Like, all of that isn't worth a penny. Like you because unless, I mean, you raise lots of money and you don't care about revenue. We didn't raise a lot, so we really had to get profitable and make money as fast as possible. So we made this mistake. We burned through our personal funds, and we fortunately raised from some angels. We got to Google for startups. They invested in us, and that's when we did the pivot. And instead of building this enterprise top-down sales-led kind of product, we created a Chrome extension that is easy to use. It's easy to install. You can get the value immediately, not like before we had to onboard, show everything. And we basically launched the product on Product Hunt. We gave it to people from our network to try, and that's when we saw, okay, people are interested. So instead of giving free version to everyone, because lots of products in our niche, they have like a free version, because we wanted to be profitable as fast as possible and not rely on investors' money, we created like the free trial. You can record up to 5 recordings, and after that you have to pay. And people just love the tool. I can tell more why they love the tool, but eventually, like, people started paying. We saw the validation. We got to first $100 per month, which was like, it felt amazing after a year of having nothing. And then, like, another then 1,000, then 10,000, and we are basically growing every month, like double digits. So yeah.
Do I understand it correctly that you changed the business model from the enterprise to B2C
Yeah.
model, where people can work on that? Okay, awesome. And can you tell the approach to this go-to market and to the sales which you use right now? Do you use the paid marketing, or you use the recommendation engine, or you somehow build the growth engine inside the product? How it works for you?
So I would say like that initially our like everything we were doing was manual. So I would reach out to people from network to Slack channels. Was like trying to give everyone the opportunity to try the product, and some of them liked. it and started using, because the product is kind of like inherently viral, because you record something, then you share it with your colleagues, people get to know. So I would say that like majority of our leads, of our customers are coming through word of mouth. Like and I know that because when I reach out to a lot of our customers, even now when we have like lots of them, I still reach out each time someone signs up or someone pays, and like asking how did you learn about us, and majority of people are saying, hey, my colleague use it, or like I'm part of this community, someone recommended. So lots of recommendation. And That's the first. Like second is like paid, not paid ads, but collaboration with newsletters, with creators. That's something we've been doing from the beginning, and that's something that I wouldn't say that now it's the biggest part of our growth, but at the beginning it definitely boosted. So there are lots of newsletters right now. It became so popular, like everyone started a newsletter, and we found newsletters in AI niche and like productivity niche. And we first initially, like I was manually trying to find newsletters, reach out to the creators, offer partnership. We pay them fixed price. They mention us in their newsletter. But then we found a platform called Passion Fruit, guys from Berlin. I know the founders, like they're doing really good tool, which basically aggregates. It's like a marketplace where you can connect with creators, or like newsletter. Like they're different creators. Like you can pay for LinkedIn post, for newsletter post, whatever. And at some point we're like sponsoring like 10 newsletters per month, which is not expensive, because some of them like they charge $100, 150, but you pay like $100. You have to negotiate a lot, but you pay $100, and then they, for example, send information about you to like 10,000 of their subscribers. From this 10,000, 5,000 will read, 100, 150 will click and check the tool. And it's a good way, I think, to validate your hypothesis. And But it depends on the topic. So because our tool is quite general, like everyone might be interested in it who has meet online meetings. That's why it was easier for us. So if you have some kind of like niche product, I think it would be harder. But yeah, so I would say initially this tool, like reaching out, newsletter. Now it's mostly just like organic growth, uh, and yeah, virality. You can call it virality as
Yeah,
well.
and it sounds amazing because not every startup can, like say that we are growing organically, or like we are growing by recommendation, because it means that your product is amazing. And I think that the listeners at least should explore the trial version. Like
Definitely.
just to have a look at this one. Yeah, and yeah, that's thanks for sharing, and thanks for highlighting one thing, that you are talking still to customers. And you are saying that I'm getting to understand that they are from recommendations, not from the
Yeah.
advertisement. And this is amazing when a startup founder or co-founders are still looking into customers and still talking to them. Because from what I saw, when you are starting developing your business, you start focusing on investment raise and you forget about your customers. But the customers are
Yeah.
giving you the insights for marketing and sales. Yeah.
True.
And thanks for sharing that. And about right now, so how the startup operates, and where are you right now, and what are the next frontiers for you?
I mean, how we operate, we're all remote. So we're gonna probably like we gonna still be remote with probably some hubs, because like I'm in Düsseldorf in Germany, my co-founder is in London, like Dima, and the CTO or CTO co-founder, he's in Warsaw. And then we just hired one more engineer in Warsaw, so they're already gonna be like in one office space, and probably we're gonna hire more people there. And then we have our front-end engineer in Georgia, like country Georgia. And then we have like a content writer who's in South Africa. So like we're remote from the day one, and that's how we're going to continue. And with regards to current stage of development, I mean, we have working product. We have over 750 custom like companies, but customers more, because in some companies there are like people buy a few seats on their own cards. So then we have like more than 1,000 customers, and we. I think we're just gonna continue this way, like growing our MRR, growing the team. Um not not sure at which moment we'll raise. Probably like at the moment where we feel the where we have the best, let's say, like stand that we can have the best deal with investors. But right now we are growing. We are growing at a very good rate, which allows us to basically reinvest everything that we make on top to the growth. And Yeah, I think in terms of development as well, why one of the reasons we hired backend engineers, because we want right now to invest a lot into integrations, building lots of like viral referral loops, more things to encourage people to share. So that's for sure. And maybe one more thing as well is like maybe doing more sales. So any product-led company, product-led business eventually needs to add a sales layer on top to get bigger deals, because it's hard to sell large deals just through product-led, because you need to go to the budget holder and other stuff. So that's the focus as well. So yeah.
And when we're talking about the larger deals, let's talk about the customer segments, because you highlighted that you started from the enterprise, then you
Yeah.
moved to B2C, and right now I'm hearing that you are also like returning back to the enterprise. Am I correct here?
I wouldn't say it's like enterprise, like extremely large deals, but if I don't know, there is a company that it has 100 employees or 500 employees, someone starts using the tool, there is always an opportunity to sell another 20, 30, 50 seats. And of course, you can just wait for the product to spread organically inside the company, or you can nudge people and help them to buy more seats. Uh, Plus, I think we see the potential in sales department as a customer for Bluedot, and we have one of our subscription plan specifically designed for sales. It's more expensive because there you have like some sales related features, plus you have the integration with CRM, and this is where I see potential, plus recruitment as well. So we'll have some integrations with recruitment platforms like CRMs or ATSs, and there as well you can charge a premium for automating and more work. So you have an interview with a candidate, we automatically update your ATS with all the notes from the interview, and yeah, people are ready to pay more for that.
Yeah, and it's really interesting. May I highlight here one thing, and
Yeah,
please correct if I'm wrong, that you started at the very beginning as a pretty general product, like for
yeah,
all of the people who want to take notes.
yeah.
But right now, what I'm hearing, you have the specific use cases in sales, in recruiting, in other industries, probably to give more value there. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think most probably we're still gonna stay general as the way for people to discover the tool and try it, but we're gonna have this specific pockets of users that we're gonna target with more, special integrations, automations, which won't change the tool a lot from the UX UI perspective, but there's gonna be things that you're gonna only uncover if you're from sales or recruitment department, and yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so yeah, you can in this case expand your product, and that's really great
Yeah.
example for other startups who will be listening to us, that you can start either general and then like to focus, or start very small and then to go into general and more markets for to close
Uh,
more use cases.
Yeah, I only I would only say that I'm not sure if we are doing it right. So if you look at the kind of general practice and what everyone is preaching, that you have to either be general or very niche, we kind of like going into this in between direction, which I don't know if it will work out, because you need to judge after some more time to see what's the growth going to be. For now, it works. What's going to be in 2 3 years, I'm not sure. Maybe eventually we'll pick one niche and just go full in, but for now we just don't have the conviction to go into one of the niches full in.
Totally, because you can test hypotheses. Okay, which niche is working for you,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
example, as you are doing it right now. And just for the record here, that different startups will be listening to us and are listening to
yeah,
us, and they are just looking at different ways of how to work with their product. So that's amazing that
yeah.
you are sharing your way and how you want to work with your product too. Yeah, so let's return back to the monetization model. So tell us, how much does it cost to use your product?
Good question. So it starts with $18 per month after the free trial of 5 recordings. It's $18 per month, which allows you to record up to 1 hour of audio. So it's audio only, no video, and there are some few limitations as well. So like we have, I don't know, probably like uh, quarter of our customers who first start with this $18 per month, but then they realize that $25 per month gives you more. So lots of people go to $25 per month. This is where majority of our customers what they're buying, because this one allows you for unlimited recording, unlimited uploads, video and audio, like and all the basically majority of features that we have. And then there is the business, which is $39, and this one has the integration with HubSpot, Then we will have Salesforce soon, like Zyper integrations. So more integrations on that side.
I see. I see. The business is paying for more convenience for their systems and integrations. Got it. Got it. Let's discuss the development cost and where did the funding come from and what are your financial plans? Because you just recall that at some point you were using your own funds, like you have
Yeah.
as interested investors. So please elaborate on this more.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's hard for me to say what's the development cost, like what, like in total or at certain point. I would just say that, like at the beginning, we probably invested around like 50,000 of our own money with Dima from agency time, because agency allowed us to build some, cushion, uh, and we reinvested it, and that was initially. Then we raised a little bit from angels, from this Google for Startups grants like Seeds of Bravery, and that's the latest one. And yeah, I'm like, in total we raised around like 500K from all, like from grants or from angels. This like in a span of like 2 years, 2.5 years. So I don't know if, like, can you count it as a development? Maybe it's development costs, maybe 500K, maybe less.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's much less when you just count till the moment when we had our first prototype or second prototype. That's less than 500K, I would say for sure.
Got it. Got it. So there were like in chunks, the first prototype, second, you validated the hypothesis and then scaled it into the working product. Am I correct here?
Yeah, but we need to understand as well as that lots of first year, probably year and a half, like we're paying ourselves salary only from everything we made from agency. So we're not taking money from the company. We're just paying everything to engineers, to like all the marketing stuff. And I think it would be different if we wouldn't have the agency. That's for sure.
Got it.
Now we don't
Got it.
have it,
So you
but
do not count in this budget your potential salary, which you support with the help of the other businesses.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We no, then it's gonna be more expensive. Yeah.
Okay. Great. And tell us probably a bit more about the Seeds of Bravery, because I'm really honored to have you here because we have been working with you during the Booster First cohort for the
Yeah.
startups, the Digital and Deep Tech Acceleration Program. And right now I'm talking to you, but let's talk about the Seeds of Bravery in general. So, what were your expectations and what worked for you and what didn't work, if you can elaborate?
No, my expectations, I would be like super transparent. I didn't have much expectations. I was like, interesting. Let's see how it works. Because each program is unique, and like I've been to we've been to Accelerator as well. That's something I didn't mention like at the beginning. So it's called On Deck. So I've been to this accelerator. We've been to Google for Startups. They as well had certain programs. So I honestly didn't know what to expect. Eventually, when we got accepted, and went through the program in the middle of the program, I realized what's really cool in your program, unlike others, is this focus on connecting with like advisors and coaches and overall with network from different backgrounds. So and we had a kind of the choice who to connect with, in particular through this networking part during the second milestone. And like I personally got connections with a few really really good leads and potential partners. So for me, that's the biggest value add, because we're at this stage where we know what they're doing, for whom we are doing. We just need people to talk and try to maybe partner with them. So that's
Yeah, thank you
definitely
for
an
sharing
advantage for me.
because all of the startups which like you are coming to the P5, they are on a TRL 7 on TRL 6,
Yeah,
so they are jumping into scale up phase. So we envision that the biggest challenge you have is to get to the right people. That's why we try to
yeah,
connect you with those people. Got it. Thanks for sharing. And I would love to jump into the future state of the
yeah.
niche you're working in. So, just to be a bit more visionary and to have the helicopter view on this industry, what do you think are the key trends in the productivity space or AI note taking or whatever, how you will define this niche, and what to expect in the future?
Good question. I would say this niche is extremely competitive. I think one of the most competitive I've seen. Maybe there are other niches who are competitive as well, but this niche became so competitive in a very short period of time. So there are startups in almost every country. You have someone local building AI Notetaker, like in Ukraine, in Poland, in like South America. Like I'm still surprised. I'm not surprised anymore when I see like that there's another AI note taker. At the beginning, I was like, damn, like there's so much competition. Now I'm like, it's okay, it's fine. Like we found our niche, so and it works. So I think at some point there's going to be market consolidation that we're going to see like more and more startups either I know either shutting down or they would basically do some M&A, and join together. So I think that eventually there are two paths we can pick, and both of them kind of have, I would say, can be successful. One of them is like uh, just going to continue going the general way, but like supporting more platforms. Because, for example, phone, many people are using their cell phones for sending messages on WhatsApp or for just phone calls. There are lots of field sales. People go and sell door to door, or they in the car talking with their clients. All of these touch points can be digitalized, summarized, updated to CRM, and everything else, right? So this is one direction where I think there is like at least 5 years of work to really like cover all of that and like be the best in this niche as a general tool. And there is another direction is like going into one of the niches and perfecting this niches like recruitment or sales, and like just automating every part of the sales or recruitment process, starting with the email follow-up. We already have, for example, email follow-up in Bluedot. So when you have, I use it every day. Like once my sales calls finished, I use Bluedot to generate AI email follow-up. Right now it's the first version, but it can go further. It can like suggest me when to follow up next, or can follow up instead of me, or can add different documents, or like calculate the pricing, like do more than just short summary as a follow-up email, as a text. So then of course it can, like for sales, for example, it can nudge me if I in a call agreed that I will send you follow-up in a week, or we should schedule a call. Right now it's just a text that I have to then go, or even as it would update my CRM, but it would update CRM with the text. How cool it would be if it would actually maybe create a follow up in my Google Calendar, and in a week would be like, hey, you promised this person to follow up. That would be so cool. So I don't have to think about it. And this is just like a little thing, right? There is so much more you can do if you connect with specific software that I know sales or recruitment teams are using. So I see lots of potential, and I believe the future is great in terms of optimization with current AI models.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. As a person who recently just adopted personal CRM, because I've had so many connections and I have like constant, so many new people in my life from the professional side, I can resonate to what you are talking. So hopefully somebody can make it more digitalized, because right now I have a lot of pain. And I think that lots of our startups who are listening to us, they also have this type of pain. When you are talking to investor, you have the next commitments, or you're talking to a client. So
Yeah.
you're talking about very specific use cases. And yeah, thanks for sharing your perspective on this, Ruslan. And very last question to wrap up our talk today is
Yeah.
that a lot of startups are listening to us, and these startups either on a stage you are right now, or they are
hmm
like just have an idea to develop a startup. What piece of advice would you give them looking back at your experience?
I would say that for someone who wants to start, I mean, it's going to be a super uh, classic thing, but like just don't wait and don't expect that you will learn enough to start. That was my mistake. I was like waiting too much, trying to read all the books, trying to read all the articles on TechCrunch, trying to analyze what would be the next big thing. You're not going to like unless you have a certain insight in the industry, you're never going to know. You're never going to get this insight unless you just start, ship something small, get the feedback, get validation, and continue. We yeah we went through the same kind of journey, and I definitely see why everyone recommends it, and I just say the same because it is what it is. And the second, for someone who already has, so if you look at us, for example, like at the beginning, going to this enterprise and like waiting for so long to make a first sale, it's like it's so frustrating. So I think everything has changed once we made something simple, something easy to try, and we immediately saw the feedback and we immediately saw that someone is ready to pay. So try to get to this moment of someone paying you or some kind of like real validation as fast as possible. So it's gonna motivate you and your team to continue doing, and just basically, yeah, keep going this way. And another thing as well is that uh, very often, because at the beginning when we had this like enterprise focus, right, I was trying to sell it and I was so frustrated. Like almost half a year I spent like doing user research, like demo the product, trying to sell it. No one wanted to buy, and it was like extremely frustrating. And I thought the problem was with me. But once we changed the positioning, once we changed the product, like my sales calls are much easier. Like I'm not trying to sell, I'm trying to consult, I'm trying to help, and then like offering, hey, do you want, for example, use it with a team? And this just changed everything. But I'm the same person. Like it's not like I read a certain better book on how to sell. Nothing. I'm the same person, just with a different product, and it's just like a completely different trajectory. So yeah, that's. I hope it's helpful, but that's some thoughts that came to my mind.
No, it is actually. I think that lots of startuppers who are listening to us, they have lots of ideas on what they are doing. And I really advise everyone who is listening to this podcast, subscribe to Ruslan, subscribe to the Bluedot, and to have a look. That's what I'm actually practicing, and I recommend to practice. When you have a startup, please get inspired by people who already do this and get to know more from them, and probably just write them to network and to ask more
Yeah,
questions. Yeah,
always
so thank
welcome.
you, Ruslan, so much for your expertise, for what you are doing. And it's really great to hear more from products with Ukrainian roots. Love it.
Yeah, yeah, and thank you so much as well for the program, for guiding us through this, for everything, and yeah, appreciate your help throughout the program and for this podcast as well.
Thanks a million. Thank you for listening to our podcast today. And it is my pleasure to ask our dearest guests about their experience of founding the startup. Please follow Seeds of Bravery on all of the YouTube and all of the other podcast platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcast for more information and for more episodes. See you soon.